Hello, how are you all today? Thank you so much for joining the KJB Effect, and I am your host, KJ. So today I wanted to get a little bit deeper into conversation. Of course, I will always try to keep it lighthearted, but I think this topic, it will go a little bit deeper. So when I decided that I wanted to do these, quick chats, I asked my niece, who's in her early 20s, what would you want to hear me talk about? And she gave me one that's really, it makes you think a little bit deeper. And that was, what kind of life lessons can you share from your 20s? What would you tell yourself now? So that's a really deep thing to think about. And so I did. I took some time, and now I'm ready to, record it and talk about it. So in my early 20s, I feel like I didn't make the best choices with the people that I gave my time to. So mainly like dating and getting to know a potential mate. I did not choose wisely. And I think that I would let myself know you're worthy, you're worth more, and be careful of who you give your time and energy to because everyone is not deserving. And I feel like I had two kind of major relationships in my 20s, and neither person was the right fit for me. So that's something that I still to this day think about and wish, oh, if I could do something different, I would have changed that. I never would have gotten involved with that person. So that's the biggest takeaway for me is just those two relationships, they were not worthy. It took a lot of energy out of me. It took a lot of joy out of me. And you have to ask the right questions. So when you're getting ready to meet that potential other, significant other, I think that you want to, everything is all lovey-dovey and clouds and skies, blue when you first meet, but you need to ask some of those really tough questions. You need to get to know the person's family, get to know the people that they work with, see what type of friends that they have. Because if their friends are bad news and they're hanging out with them, 9 times out of 10, that's going to tell you something right there. If no one at their job likes them or questions them, that's also a red flag. If they don't have a good relationship with their family and you're someone who's close with your family, how is that really going to work out? So start asking those kind of questions and getting to know that person a little bit deeper. I would also say that you need to find out about someone financially because, I think of people going through financial abuse, and that was one of my relationships where, I didn't really know where my money was going. I was giving it, but I didn't know what it was going to. And at the end of the day, it didn't help me any. So unfortunately, I lost out on a lot of money. I would really get to ask those financial questions, find out about the person's bank account. What are they doing with their money? How are they spending it? Is it different from the way that you think about money? So it's almost like you're having to maybe go to therapy together or find out more, especially if you feel like you're planning to, spend your life with that person or at least a long time. Those are the tough questions that I think you need to know. So definitely thinking about what I would tell myself now, it's just that, hey, don't jump into anything. I know it stinks sometimes when you're alone and you're not in a relationship and you feel a little lonely. I know for me, like in my 20s, both my brothers were married. And I just kind of felt like, wow, I am the only one that's not. I don't have anybody. Sometimes that can weigh on you a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay to take the time to be by yourself and get to know you. So definitely be careful of who you give your time and energy to. And that's whether it's a relationship or it's a good friendship. You know, some friendships are not meant to last forever. If it's not working for you, don't continue to be friends with that person. Because again, when someone's draining your energy and they're renting space in your head for free, it's not good for you. Now, I don't want to just say the negatives. I think one of the positive things for me in my 20s is I was able to get my own place. And when I got this apartment, I didn't need the help from my parents. I was able to do it myself. I was working and I needed just a little bit extra money to put my down payment down. So I went to my boss and explained the situation, and the company gave me a little bit of a loan. So it was from my paycheck, but the great thing is I was able to do it by myself, and I was able to pay my rent, my phone bill, and my utility bill. So that's something that meant a lot to me, is finding this really cool place. And it's when I lived in Georgia, and I lived in a really cool artsy area. So the neighborhood was nice, the apartment was cool, it kind of felt like New York flat style, and that's what I could afford. But it was beautiful and it made me feel good. I remember my brother David didn't live super far from me, and I found this cool little bistro table at the local mall. But of course, I didn't have a car. I was on the bus, and he had a car. So I was like, hey, can you meet up with me and help me get this table? And he sure enough came through. And not only did he help me get the table and put it in his car, but he put the table together. Now, David, you know what? You're cool. I love you. But, that table did rock a little bit. It wasn't like solid foundation, but I still thank you. I had to talk about you a little bit because I know that you're watching. But yes, I got a cool bistro table. I didn't have much furniture, but it was my place. So I would say that that's something that I'm super proud of, is being able to afford that place and have that, and know that I lived on my own and I could pay for myself and do everything for myself before actually getting married. So there you have it. That's what I would take away from my 20s, and that's what I would want to share with you. If you're in your 20s, know that you are worthy. You're worth it. You have a lot to offer. Just slow down a little bit. Make sure that you can do things on your own. Make sure that you're taking care of you and that you're good before you jump into anything. And again, that goes for friends as well. It's not just a significant other, it's your friends. Birds of a feather flock together. It's just the truth. So how you represent yourself is a huge deal. I hope that helps. I hope that this is a good one. Again, I try to keep things lighthearted, so I didn't want to dig too deep into everything, but relationships, sometimes they stink. They don't always work, and it's okay. As long as you've learned something from it and you can pick yourself up and still feel good about you and know, again, that you have the great self-worth. That's what matters, is how you get back up and how you keep going. So again, I'm KJ, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I hope that you make sure, again, that you subscribe. That way you'll know when the new episodes are launching. I look forward to talking to you again. Take care.